it. And we are back. So how did you get wrapped up into the new leadership program, the young leaders?
That was actually through one of my platoon leaders from the army. Actually,
Okay.
yeah,
Is uh, well, is that his name is Marvin? How do you pronounce his last name?
Marvin Riles.
Yes.
Yeah, he's actually a realtor here in San Antonio now.
Oh, no shit.
Um, we got into contact with each other, so he does military relocation assistance. So he'll have when people are transferring into San Antonio from other states, he'll help them get housing or find a house to buy or whatever.
Yeah, that's dope. They even help move you too, right? That's when they relocate you. They'll
Yeah, the military does that for you, but his aspect is more like the civilian side,
Oh,
like
okay.
for the family, people that have families, that don't live on base and they want to buy a house on off of the base and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
hmm He helps a lot of the veterans too because he understands, those home loans and all that.
Oh,
But
totally. Yeah.
yeah, we've got a pretty tight little veteran community that I network here in San Antonio with, and that's primarily who I do all my work for now. This past week was just a test run. It didn't go too well with that group.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna just stick to my normal circle of what
So
I've been.
why do you think it didn't go well? Just because like it sounded like a bunch of guys left. But was it speed that was holding you up or like difficulty or just like size?
Speed, size, the change. I thought it was squared
Yeah.
off rooms, and then it ended up being vaulted rooms.
Yeah.
So a lot of that kind of like played a big part in everything, especially the vaulted ceilings are just another angle to tape off. And it's just being up that high was pretty
Oh
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of heights. It's it is, so I'm about to get back into taping again. I've kind of had enough with running sites for a little while. I'm going to get back on the tools and bang out some board feet. But I'm starting to think that I might get a small pair of stilts just to be that little bit higher. Because the last house that I did had 9 foot ceilings in the one room, and it was just too high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, if I just had some stilts, but I would really very seriously have to clean up after myself if I was wearing stilts though.
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's fuck yeah. Yeah, I would assume you step in a pile of mud, you're gonna go ass over tea kettle pretty quick.
Oh yeah, you fall pretty quick. I haven't
Yeah.
fallen yet, but
No? How long you been doing it?
I had just learned how to use stilts as well,
Yeah, good for you.
like about a month ago. But um, it's because in California, you got to use scaffolds for everything. You can't use stilts.
Yeah.
So now that I'm here, I'm trying to, get a little bit faster. So I tried it out, and man, it made a world like day and night.
Really?
And it didn't even matter that I had somebody kind of just hanging out, helping me out along the way, and then doing all the bottoms while I'm doing the tops. It was nice.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Um, the three ways are another thing that we're doing that that's a new thing. You've heard about those at the paper
Inside.
corners? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's going to be a big thing. Foz the Carpenter and I are going to start taping together, and because I've got all the tools and I've already run them before, he's going to like take care of all the three ways, probably do the corner bead, like do that kind of stuff while I'm just like boxing out. Um, and I think it's going to work really well.
He's gonna handle a lot of the detail work, like real
Yeah,
good.
well, he's a trowel guy, and he's a really good. Well, I think actually he's a knife guy. He's just now gotten into trowel. But his work's fantastic. So like when it comes to quality detail stuff, why wouldn't he be the one doing it, right? If I can be boxing out the rest of the place, then that just makes sense. That first day with an auto taper, though, when you're running the taper, you want to have somebody in the same room, wiping behind you, rolling the, like doing all the other part of it. When you
Yeah.
do it on your own, it almost feels like it takes 3 times as long because you're putting things down, picking things up, like you're backtracking so much.
Hmm.
Um, how does that typically work with the guys that you have working with you? Do you all have like your own things you do, or do you pick a room and start getting after it?
Um, Typically we start in the back of the house and um, we circle counterclockwise,
Yeah, okay.
and depending on how the house goes. So like when we're flowing out from room to room, I try and do that, and then uh, I always try and do like one room and then do the hallway and then get into another room.
Yeah.
So
Almost like you're trying to find the path of least steps.
yeah,
Where you're like, and then we'll do this, and then along here, and then over here. Yeah.
yeah, but
It's
we finished the rooms one at a time though. So
mhm.
be in there and finish each room one at a time. And I think it could be a lot faster
Oh
if
yeah.
if I ran those flushers and the mud, what was it that you called it?
Compound tube.
The compound tube. Yeah, I think
It's
that'll
yeah,
change my life.
yeah, I mean, for a guy in your position, that like you're good at hand finishing. So all that detail work in your butts and your joints and that kind of stuff, you can do all that by hand and it comes out great. The time consuming stuff's the inside and outside corners. And when you can hit that with your compound tube, actually the Columbia set comes with a oh, I fucking have it right here. Look at that. It comes with a flat applicator.
Oh, nice.
So you do all your flats and butts with the fucking tube too. When
Oh,
when you're taping it, right? So you'll run through a room that would have taken you an hour and a half in like 10 seconds. That's
yeah.
crazy. And then just have somebody come behind you rolling and flushing. Yeah, it's I think there's something like $1,000, I think, something like that.
Not bad.
But I mean, yeah, if that doesn't pay for itself in the first house, I'd be shocked.
Hmm.
Um, I think Josh from High Cut on the first episode, um, he said that when they switched over from hand tools to automatic tools, it wasn't quite 4 times as much they were putting out, but it was awful close. And that
Mm.
was kind of right off of the bat. But it is a big investment. That's the other big part of it, right? And jumping into an auto taper and then not knowing how to use it properly, or you fucking break the thing. It's an investment for sure.
Definitely.
Hmm.
I was definitely gonna go that route of renting them until
Yeah.
like I'd do like a 3 month rental, get myself worked in, I mean that 350 a month will pay itself off. Because if I break them, then and they're warranted to get fixed right away anyways.
Well, man, I mean, 350 a month. So I looked at a North Star handle today, box handle, that was
Hmm.
$400. Just a fucking handle. And I was shocked. Um, but I mean, if you could rent out a set for 350 a month, like it would almost be worth just fucking renting the set.
Yeah.
Because every time something's fucked, you just take it back and they give you a new one and then you're off to work again.
Hmm. Yeah, we got a Ames taping tools here, so the Ames taping tools has that program where you could it's 350 bucks a month and they give you the full setup. They give you the bazooka, the mud boxes, all the inside corner,
Hmm.
everything. So it's pretty cool. I think I was gonna try that out just to try and familiarize myself with it, and
Yeah.
go that route. Just so I don't go out of my pocket, buy a bunch of stuff, and then I mess it up myself.
Well, and yeah, the amount of times I dropped the auto taper in the first couple of months was crazy. If I could have been dropping someone else's auto taper for a couple of months, that I would have much rathered that.
Yeah.
Now I had the level 5 to begin with, and then Columbia sent me a Predator, luckily, because it was not the right move. It was heavy, super clunky. It felt like every other time I picked it up, there was something else fucking wrong with it. I just it renting would have been all right for a little while.
Yeah.
I wonder if
I was really fucking happy, honestly, when I got a follow back from Colombia. That
oh
was
yeah.
it. I was like, man, that's dope.
Uh, they've been so good to me, man. They were following me when I was literally nobody, when I just had stories on and like three people, including my parents, were watching them. Like, you know what I mean?
I am
They're,
you that at that time.
yeah, see, there you go. Dreams do come true. No, if you're tagging them, I just found whenever I'm using somebody's tools, I'm typically tagging them in it. Because if they like the content, they should be using it. Like it's I think taping's cool. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I enjoy it. I think it's like something not everybody can do. And you can make a lot of fucking money doing it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Pretty fun, dude. Like it.
I love it. I fucking love it. I quit taping for a long time because I was a hand taper. I hated sanding because I was caking things on too heavy, and like it was
Makes
just a lot of work. And with the boxes and the tube and the auto taper, like it's just fun again, you
so
know?
let's talk Sanders then.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, I've got that written down here. What are you running? It looks like it plugs in.
I'm running a corded DeWalt the 9 inch, but it's it's a little bit older one. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be getting out of that very soon because I ran it with the regular Home Depot rigid vacuum and it's not doing well.
Oh, it's not doing it. Yeah, it's
I
not
went
keeping up.
through vacuums already and it doesn't keep up, and
Ooh.
it's really heavy. Like it kills my shoulders, dude. So after we had like some demonstration for us at Sherwood Williams one day. The Festool rep came down from Houston, and that thing was
They're
um,
pretty dope.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It blew my mind, just like the difference in weight and the weight distribution in it was just totally different.
It the vacuum too is a totally different monster. Like
Mhm.
it knocks itself off. It never gets clogged. It very, very rarely do you have any dust. Like you could probably run a Festool without a mask on. I never would, but I mean it's minimal. And you can turn it up and down. That 240 sandpaper. When I did Tom's house, he has a Festool, and
Mhm.
I used that, and I loved it, man. Like I run that the DeWalt battery operated, so it is pretty heavy, but I just like it. It's kind of the right amount of heavy. It's the right length when you're nice and close with it. When you drop it out, like it's adjustable. It just fits me very well. Um, what else did I use? I've used the Merca. I didn't like it as much as I did the Festool, but I've used the Festool a little bit more. Brad was saying he's getting some cheap one off of Amazon. They're like $300 and he loves it. And when they start to go wonky on you, you throw it in the fucking garbage and you order another one. They're $300, right?
Exactly.
It's to me what the Festool and those guys are bringing to the table is the vacuum.
Oh yeah.
Hilti is another one that I wish that I had looked at. They've just come out with, because they've got their Hilti vacuums that are made for like cutting cement. So when you're putting like drywall dust against that, it's not that big of a deal.
I have one of my
Um,
buddies, he has the Hilti. Uh,
yeah,
let's see, his TikTok name, he's pretty cool too. he does some really nice work. Is Drywall Fanatics.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Drywall Fanatics. He's out in like I think Wisconsin.
Yeah, okay.
I
Gonna
forget.
write that down.
But his work is really good. He has the Hilti. He was telling me that he loved it, man.
I love everything to do with Hilti. Their stuff is made for like industry work, like just beat the shit out of it all day long, and they're great. When I first started, I went out with my cousin. He's got a agricultural fencing company, and it was in the middle of winter, like probably negative 25 maybe, and all my Milwaukee shit was dying. It was all full. It was just too cold. And all the Hilti stuff, no problem. And it was like every fucking day it did that. Like we would just like run the batteries till everything was too cold, keep them in the truck and it still wouldn't do shit. And then his was just, marching on. So that's what I started uh picking up. All my new stuff's all Hilti, just for that reason. And they're warranted and shit. Like they get it.
Yeah, I do a lot of refinishing, so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I have my eyes set on Festool.
Yeah.
All the attachments that their palm sander has as well.
Mm-hmm.
They have those different attachments for the contours and that sponge sander, so it won't dig into cabinet doors or real defined edges. It's gonna give me that real nice sanded surface. Without
Mm-hmm.
it. And I do a lot of that and staining and stuff like that. So
The majority of the people, believe it or not, when I'm at a store and there's a Festool rep, are carpenters. It's not all tapers doing the Festool stuff. There are people with wood shops in their basement and they're working with a Festool vac and they're like, my fucking basement's clean.
yeah,
I just run the tools. Yeah, it's really impressive, man. I think of the days where like you would have to like be outside of a customer's house with a chop saw and you're going in and out and like sometimes that's like down and around the driveway and shit. If you could just set up in a kitchen, set up the proper vacuum, we would have been flying through stuff.
oh yeah, I have that zip wall thing too now.
That
Uh,
guy's going to be on the podcast. Is it the RU zip?
no, I actually have not zip wall. I have the Trimco one.
Oh, okay.
It's similar design. You clip the plastic up top and you put the walls up and
Yeah,
you get your whole dust containment. I love it, dude.
we did that with the Bromley job, I guess 2 years ago now. And is it just like a red pole and then it's kind of got like a squeeze thing that extends it a little bit?
Yeah, that's that zip wall brand.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Our mine is kind of just like it's got a spring at the bottom and it's kind of like a shower curtain,
That's dope. Yeah.
twist, tighten it, but it attaches to the top of the ceiling as well. It's got a flat surface.
Nice.
It's pretty nice, man. Like the dust containment that it holds, and imagine having that other type of system. The
Yeah.
advertisement's gonna go out the roof just because of that. I mean, the mess you leave in somebody's house if you're doing a remodel. I do a lot of remodels, so I always have the issue of like messing up people's floors, or
Oh yeah.
you don't want that.
Yeah, so floor protection 100% because you could go into someone's house and it might look like hardwood floors, but it's like some fucking brought in from somewhere else lumber, and then you're
Yeah,
fucked. Like it's just that could ruin a project. So I'm a firm believer in floor protection and
furniture protection as well for the dust because I had some overspray from texture get on.
no
Uh,
way.
yeah, on a cabinet from out of the
Oh
country.
no.
It wasn't nice, you know.
The other thing I always do is I'll put like $300 or $400 off to the side and hire a cleaner afterwards. Like have
Uh,
somebody just come in and do it because I don't do that shit. Like
Cleaners are expensive now though.
well, that's the other part of it is now they are getting crazy expensive. if you can find somebody that you trust and they've got like a small clientele base, because that's the other part is guys will say they'll be somewhere and then someone will call them and offer them another $100 that day and they're gone. They're just
Oh,
not showing
yeah.
up. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a fickle beast.
I have that with some people that have helping me,
Yeah.
workers. I had one guy. We had I actually had some time off finally, so I was gonna do a quick repair, and he made me wait for 2 hours, man. He's like, "I'm on his way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way." I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna spend the gas to go drive around and do these repairs.
Yeah.
Come on, get over here. We're gonna be late." And then, man, 2 hours later, then I get a message. Well, I went to go paint with my dad instead. I said, "Oh man, that hurt me in the gut." I had customers upset with me. It was not nice.
Oh yeah, man. My head would explode if somebody did that to me. I'm just
Uh,
like, are you fucking serious?
Here's San
Uh
Antonio, it happens constantly, dude.
yeah.
Oh, there's such a bad. And then there's guys that I've never heard of a day of a job paying as soon as you finish at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, yeah. You always get those guys.
So that's one of the beasts because as soon as people hear that, they just don't come back ever again.
Yeah.
So I'm like learning, trying to keep, I'm trying to like grow this business, but at the same time, I can't because I'm still on the job site 24/7. You know what I mean? But once we figure out this team, I think I think things are gonna change for me.
Yeah, and you have to have the right people on your team. I would rather be without a team than a bad team,
Yeah.
for sure. Give me 2 seconds here. I gotta run and get my charger. Oh my goodness. All right, there we go. Well, that'll be a first. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Oh, I've never had the fucking computer try to die on me before. That's exciting. Good
Yeah,
thing I don't edit these podcasts. Everyone's really going to enjoy that last 20 seconds.
I know. I was just looking down.
Oh,
I
shit.
know you didn't hit pause.
Mm-mm. Nope. That's I had Steve from the three-way on here and we were doing the Columbia thing and he like stumbled over his words a little bit. Well, you can't even tell when you listen to the episode, but he was like, "Oh, you have to edit that out." I'm like, "I don't fucking think so. We don't do that here." Uh,
There, we're cutting it raw.
no, yeah, I love it. But
Uh,
I think that's the fun part of it too, right? Like I started having conversations with people prior to them coming on, but that all that good stuff's in the first time you talk anyways. Like, where you get the vibe of someone and like all the like the quick things that you get out of the way, that's some of the best stuff to talk about. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, just like we did tonight. That's basically what I do. I ask, is there something you don't want to talk about? Is there anything you do want to talk about? Okay, good. You
No,
just
man.
that
I like talking about anything and open subject, dude, like
yeah.
letting it flow. I don't like forcing anything.
No, same. I'm just so inquisitive too. I not on the podcast yet, but in real life, I'll just ask questions or direct, like the conversation somewhere because my brain's like, let's talk about that, and then you'll get this like weird feeling from somebody like, oh, maybe you just overstepped or something. So I always ask, but everybody that's been on here has been so chill. I don't think we'll ever come across a problem on the podcast. It's just so easy, right?
Yeah, I've been catching up. I've been getting up to date on the episodes
Oh
lately.
yeah, that's cool, man.
So
I think you're probably the first guest that actually watches the podcast.
I had to, you know what I mean? I was coming, I was like, man, I had to see what it's about, and it's doing pretty good, bro. I like them. I like that they just it's not so like scripted like all the rest of these podcasts out here, you know.
Yeah.
It's it's real.
Yeah, like I've got, I don't know, maybe 10 things written down on a page here just in case we hit a lull, but I very rarely use them. It's like when you said the sander, I got excited because that's one of the things that I got written down, but um carrying a conversation's typically pretty easy, especially when it's like blue collar guys. Like, you know what I mean? You're people that go and work hard and then come home like they've earned that rest. You typically get along with each other.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
it's everybody's been down the same path.
We all have that same respect for each other.
Well, that's what it is you understand that what it takes. And yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I do got a question for you. I think I wrote it down weird, but it's Chicharon. You had like a glass bottle of Coke and then this like super crunchy, looked delicious. What was that?
Oh, those are chicharrones.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's fried pork belly. It's like
Okay.
they fry it in lard with with the pork belly.
Yeah,
It's you gotta boil it and cook it first, and then you fry it, and it's amazing, bro.
I bet it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that like at least once a week with the Mexican Coke bottle on
Yeah.
the. Yep, it is. It makes my day, bro.
When you were like, it says something like once a week, or you said this is the once a week. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. This is if he's limiting himself to it, it's obviously pretty good.
Oh man, and it's so greasy that I have to, you know. I
Yeah.
Past year, so about right before I got sober, I was 260 pounds.
Okay.
I've lost all of that weight since October 2016, or no, October 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've lost all that weight like in a year, about 100 pounds. So
I was gonna ask you if that's about 100 pounds. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
yeah, man, it was bad. So
You must feel
that,
great now.
man, my life has changed.
Yeah.
I went through some program. I have a Canadian brother that's
Okay.
he's a police officer in the how do you guys say it? The RMP or the
RCMP. Yeah.
RCMP. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an RCMP officer. We went through a program together for it's for veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder problems and law enforcement. So he
Yeah.
was actually one of the last Canadians in the course. And I was lucky enough to go through the course with him and meet him. And he's a great brother, bro. He's super cool.
No, that's kind of what I would think is the top tier of our kind of policing is the Royal Canadian Mountie Police. And they've got like a quite the dress up that they wear, but they're
Yeah.
like not to be fucked with.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're the badass guys, man.
Oh, he's a big boy, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with this dude either. No,
Yeah,
but
that's the joke about some of that stuff with the Canadians where it's like you know, you look at the RCMP and they're in their like funny hats with the funny pants and the red shirts and it's just like but anybody that knows, they're kind of like but don't tell them that you think that it's stupid.
yeah, I need to look that uniform up. I haven't
Yeah,
even.
it's quite the uniform, dude. You'll love it. That's funny.
Um,
That's funny
I'm gonna
shit.
joke with him about that now. I'm gonna tell him to send me a picture in his uniform.
Probably looks dashing.
Yeah,
So what did you do here with this the youth training? Because we're really trying to start to get into that now. It sounds like once we get to a red seal, or at least we have a red seal in the group, we can go to the government, and then you can start with the school, and then you can start to certify people. So how does that all work?
I was doing it as like a charity event. So Marvin Riles is friends with the director of this program. They're called Leaders in Training here in San Antonio, Texas. A lot of the boys are, they come from single home families, stuff like that. So I joined up with them too. It was like I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I after I got clean and sober, it's part of me that I have to give back now. You
Giving
know,
back is huge.
that's why I started this business. I didn't start this business for myself or anything else. It was for myself. Let me
Hmm.
cooling. It's for me to give back to the community again.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better. Makes me feel like I owe it to everybody.
Yeah,
And
I've once upon a time lived a very selfish lifestyle. And once you get out of that and you start to be better, you almost look back on it and you're like, you're not now, you are not doing enough.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like almost that you're making up for it. But that when you do that, that good feeling you get when you're constantly helping people is just like a rocket pack.
oh
It's
yeah,
yeah, I find that a lot. If I'm really starting to get stressed, I take a step back and I look at how happy I am with what I'm doing, and then immediately what am I giving back? And
yeah,
typically if I'm not feeling so hot, it's those answers are pretty short,
yeah.
and you got to take a look into it and
Mm.
start to do those things because that feeling, man, that's I imagine some of those kids when you're teaching them stuff, they're looking at you like this might be my fucking way out of here,
Yeah. There
you
were some
know?
of them that at the end of the course, that's something that they pretty much said, like,
Yeah.
this is something we could use forever, man. Like, and then some of them, you get the ones you you got to just get in your mind. You can't help everybody.
Yeah.
They didn't want to participate. They didn't even care to do anything. So it's kind of cool, man. Like, uh, I I took my paint sprayer out there. I let them use a little Graco paint sprayer. Uh, they were lucky enough to paint with some emerald from Sherwin just to spray, just to spray with to practice. But it lays so nice.
Yeah.
I wanted them to get that feel of using the machine with actual nice paint. So, I mean, I went through 2 gallons of paint. It's nothing. Not. It's not like a backbreaker. And
Hmm.
I set up some walls and I put a hammer through it. And I told them, all right, well, I'm going to show you how to repair this hole. And then I want to see you guys start doing it. And then I had them do that. And then they're like, well, can you get this to dry faster? I see you can somewhat, but not really. We're using like we used hot mud at the very end when I showed them how to do it a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But it's not going to dry all the way, guys. I said a lot of guys do this, and this is a faster way, but sometimes you might get called back that it bulged out because that hot mud gets pretty thick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're only drying the surface.
Well, and yeah, exactly. It's Ice Rock's got me doing these little pouches now. So he takes like a fiber fuse or a mesh and he pushes it into the hole and makes like a pocket. And then you fill that pocket and then you use like all purpose. So when it shrinks up, there's nothing on the outside of the wall. It's all inside of the wall. And then you skim it that second time and you're done. He's a mad scientist, man. If you ever have time to watch his stuff or reach out to him, it's unbelievable. I was like a 15, 17-year guy, and when I talk to him on the phone, it's like I have no fucking idea what I'm doing because
Mm-hmm.
he's just so in depth. Like he'll build stuff to take it apart just to see what stood the test. You know what I mean? Like it just going that extra mile of understanding. And I think once you start doing that, you get a real good idea what's good and what's bad.
Mm-hmm.
He's got he you know how some people will V out their butts, right? So he does this experiment or whatever where like mud doesn't stick to the gypsum, it sticks to the paper. So sometimes you'll have like a real nice butt joint, but then it'll crack or whatever if you're using fibofuse. It's because that 90 in the back didn't stick to the board. So you've got a crevice of 90 just sitting there behind all your mud. So he
Oh,
uses that spray adhesive for the trim text on your V's, and you'll never have an issue because
damn.
it all adheres to itself, right? And it's
Mhm.
stuff like that. Like who the fuck does that? Like who you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? To like sit and figure it out, but it all makes sense once you think about it.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, even the fiber fuse is making those really big sheets of fiber fuse now, the level 5 and shit.
oh
That
yeah,
that's gonna honestly be a game changer when people want to go from texture to level 5 finish on the in our aspect in doing the work. It's gonna take off a lot of time because I mean we could roll that compound onto the wall, put the sheet up just
yeah.
like taping a joint, and then do a couple coats over that. And
You just kind of back butter it, put it up there. Yeah, it's pretty wild shit. It's yeah. All right, we're getting awful close to the second break here. Maybe we'll just be right back.